Hello and welcome back to CEO.CA's Inside the Boardroom. My name is James Petham and today I'm joined by Mike Larson, Editor-in-Chief at The Money Show and host of the upcoming show on the 13th and 14th of September in downtown Toronto. Mike, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me.
So it's been an interesting couple of weeks in the markets. Obviously a lot of turmoil in the S&P 500, but gold breaking 2,500 today again for only the second time in history. What are we feeling about the overall markets at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, when I've been giving presentations at our Money Show events in the US and even going back to Canada last year, my general thesis has been be bold. That's sort of been my shorthand way for it. Meaning it's a market that's rewarding, looking for growth. It's a market that's rewarding, less defensive, more offensive position in stocks, certainly. And more recently, as you mentioned, in gold, given the interest rate environment, some of the central bank buying that's out there, a lot of these forces that are coming together at this point in time are hugely positive for gold. I kind of joke I'm not a gold bug historically, but there's times when I really am bullish on the market, and I have been bullish on that part of the market since 2018. So it's nice to see some validation there. I think, again, both here in the U.S. and in Canada, with a changing interest rate environment, potential for a soft landing, as opposed to kind of a recessionary environment. I think there are a lot of reasons to think that this is going to be a good year for the markets here in 2024, and probably as we roll into the new year as well.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of reasons for people to be paying attention, and we're seeing more of that financial news entering mainstream media even in the last couple of weeks. So let's talk about the Money Show. You're coming up in just under a month in downtown Toronto. Can you give us a sense of what to expect there?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I've been with Money Show on board for a couple of years now, here as VP and Editor-in-Chief, but I've been presenting with my former company at US and Toronto events that Money Show has hosted in the US all the way back to 2005, and Toronto since the mid-2010s. The Toronto event's great. We run September 13th to 14th at the Metro Toronto Convention Center right downtown there. Obviously a great location. It always tends to overlap with the TIFF Film Festival going on there as well. So there's other things to do in the city, and you're right next to the Blue Jays Stadium as well. But the show, the idea is to give investors and traders, predominantly Canadian, but we do get some US-based investors to join us as well, a 360-degree view of what's going on in Canada's economy, Canada's markets. And when I say markets, not just stocks, but also real estate, commodities, foreign exchange. We touch upon a little bit of everything. So this event, it's 2 full days. You have the typical keynote addresses you would see at a conference. You have breakout sessions, workshops, classroom-style workshops, panel discussions. And we have an exhibit hall there where we have dozens of sponsors, investment products and services, newsletter publishers, things like that. It'll have booths there that you can kind of stop by, test drive trading type services, get an idea for a couple of public companies, even in the mining space, and what their story is. So we try and bring a little bit of everything to people. Predominantly retail investors, although we do get some institutional attendees as well. The idea is keep them up to date on what's going on in the markets, give them some exposure to new ideas and new investment opportunities they might not have otherwise come across, just in their own research, and really just educate them. I mean, this is a market environment where there's a lot of opportunities, but of course there's a lot of risks too, whether it's political, economic, financial, and so on. So that's our goal: educate investors, give people the tools and information they need to be more profitable in their own portfolios.
Great. I know it's certainly a fantastic venue, and sounds like you've got some perfect programming lined up. Can you walk us through maybe some of the speakers or key attendees that people can look forward to?
Yeah, absolutely. We kick off with kind of our morning keynote session on the 13th, and we're going to have people like Larry Berman. We're going to have Eric Nuttall from 9 Point Partners. We've got Perna Matthews from McKinsey, Dylan Smith from Rosenberg, a little bit of everything. Again, those keynote sessions, the first couple hours are going to be your big picture views, right? And they're going to be focused on the big picture economic backdrop, monetary policy, the financial markets, and what's going on. And then we'll just kind of pivot from there. We're going to be we're kind of just announcing it now. We have a social media focused panel that's going to be going on there that's going to talk about what some younger investors are seeing and some big influencers in the financial space are seeing, in terms of the investment case for stocks versus real estate. And we've got people like Brian Belsky, for example, who's been very bullish. He's called this a 25-year secular bull market. So he's going to give his take, along with Dylan Smith, who's got a little bit more of a pessimistic opportunity or outlook, and he's going to be talking about how you can prepare if we do have a downturn. So again, I like to say that it's almost like a smorgasbord or buffet of presentations, of workshops from people that are money managers, strategists, financial authors, newsletter publishers, economists. We do try and strive for having a complete program that's going to cover all different facets of the financial markets. And then in addition, we have a couple of tracks that are focused on a few different things. We have an all-stars of options trading track that's going to have a few options-focused speakers. They're going to talk about, how that market works. And again, it's kind of a beginners to expert type program where if you've never traded options, you're going to learn how to trade them for profit and income. If you are a more advanced options trader, you'll learn some new tactics and strategies to use. I'd point out, too, we have the Money Saver Day that's going on there, where it's a personal finance type organized process or program where you're going to get tips on taxes, on borrowing, on spending, on saving, and things like that are in addition to sort of what you might be doing in your investment portfolio.
Great. Sounds like there really is something for everyone there. To fill the convention center and to have such great speakers, all this varied programming. Obviously, this isn't your first time around. Can you walk us through maybe some of the history of the show and how it's evolved and maybe how you've landed on these key themes for this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, we've had a presence in Canada for many, many years. There's different content each year depending on what's going on in the market. Sometimes if people really want to know a lot about commodities, we'll kind of shade the content and have more speakers that are focused on that. Sometimes it's stock, sometimes it's real estate. I mean, obviously the economic backdrop is going to be changing depending on how it goes, but it's always a fantastic opportunity to really not just listen to somebody talk at you from a podium or a microphone, but get interactive. I mean, one of my favorite things, even before I joined Money Show officially with my prior company, was to get to go to these events, talk to the people that were subscribed to our newsletters or that followed my work on social media or wherever, and really see what's on their minds, right? You're going to get the chance to mix and mingle with hundreds and hundreds of your fellow investors and traders. So it's not just, and also the speakers. I mean, we do things like speaker meet and greets, we do book signings, we do podcast interviews on site that we kind of give people a taste of afterwards, and they can, once we're done, once the mics are off, they can talk to the people as well and ask them their questions if they didn't get a chance elsewhere. Again, the idea is make it interactive, make it fun. We have a closing bell ceremony we're actually doing with TMX Group on Friday. So, a little bit before 4 o'clock, we'll get everybody together in the exhibit hall. We'll have the closing bell thing on stage, and we'll count that down. So, it's fun things like that I think, people can let their hair down a little bit, have a good time, learn from their fellow attendees, and really sample all kinds of strategies, products, services, things like that.
Great. Sounds like there's going to be a lot of fun activities there. But I guess beyond just a fun day out, for an investor, why is the Money Show such a valuable source of information and learning? Why should they attend the Money Show instead of reading Reuters?
Sure. Well, I think the big point that I would make is that the experts that we're going to bring to you all in one place over the span of 2 full days. I mean, it's really it's such a different feeling when you get to meet these people up close, shake their hands, listen to them, ask your questions, and get your answers that you need. Seeing somebody quoted in wherever on a financial newswire is one thing. But meeting that person up close, getting to ask your questions, getting them to give you, answers, and really the most up-to-date information, we found it to be invaluable. I think a lot of people, again, say that they know when they come to a Money Show, they're going to be getting experts, not just some person who sits behind their computer and types out a blog or a post on social media, but these are people that we've vetted that have decades, centuries, really, if you combine the whole speaker roster of experience in markets, good and bad. So I think what you're going to get is not just exposure to people with opinions on the market. You're going to get exposure to dozens of speakers who have really esteemed resumes that have, they're highly respected in their field. They're going to each have expertise on a number of different topics. So again, I mean, if you're interested in stocks, you're going to find experts on stocks. If you want to know more about real estate conditions and investing there, you're going to find experts on real estate. commodities, Forex. Again, there's a little bit of everything. So the idea is, you can grab the program and you can say, okay, I want to learn. I've seen this person on TV. I want to see what he or she has to say about this topic. And then when I'm done with that, I want to go to this room and see what he or she has to say about this other topic. You can create your own program, go to your own types of sessions and events, depending on what you're interested in. And it's designed to give you exposure to a little bit of everything.
Well, Mike Larson, editor-in-chief at The Money Show, coming to Toronto on the 13th and 14th of September. Looking forward to attending myself, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Great. Thank you.